With a career spanning several decades, Fishburne has become one of the most recognizable and respected names in the entertainment industry. But while Laurence is well respected by his fans and his peers, he has faced some humiliating and disrespectful moments by the ones he loves the most. Join us as we take a look inside Fishburne's illustrious career and his tumultuous personal life, and the shocking, terrible revelations about his family. What secrets lie behind his most iconic role in The Matrix? How can he overcome the pain that his loved ones have brought to his life? Get ready as we delve into Laurence Fishburne's sad life. But first, let's get to know him in the early part of his acting career. Early years of the Matrix actor. Laurence Fishburne was born in Augusta, Georgia, to a junior high math teacher and a juvenile corrections officer, Hattie and John Fishburne. Although his parents divorced during his childhood, which influenced his entire love life, his father saw him once a month. Fishburne lived with his mother in Brooklyn, New York, where he graduated from the now-defunct Lincoln Square Academy. In his early days, he was known as Larry Fishburne and made his acting debut at just 11 years old in the first ABC Theater teleplay in 1972. The character he played was well-loved, and the show received modest reviews. Shortly after, Fishburne appeared in the ABC soap opera One Life to Live as Joshua Hall. His most memorable childhood performance was in Cornbread Earl and Me, where he played a young boy who witnesses the police shooting of a popular high school basketball star. Fishburne's breakthrough came when he landed a supporting role in Apocalypse Now, portraying Tyrone Miller, a brazen 17-year-old Bronx native and gunner's mate third class known by his moniker, Mr. Clean. Throughout his career, he has starred in countless projects, including Apocalypse Now, Boys and the Hood, and The Matrix sequels. Fishburne also won a Tony Award for his role in the play Two Trains Running. Throughout the 1980s, Fishburne skillfully switched between television appearances and live performances, cementing his place in Hollywood. Controversies come soon and iconic roles. In 1983, Fishburne was involved in a legal case where he was charged with assaulting a minor during a disagreement on the set of a film. The case was settled, but it marked an early controversy in his career. He had a temper back then. Did you know he was a bouncer at Café de Grande and other punk rock venues in the early 1980s? This background lends a personal connection to his performance as Ike Turner in 1993's What's Love Got to Do with It? Fishburne delivers a remarkably intense portrayal of the abusive relationship between Ike and Tina Turner, especially in the confrontation scenes, revealing his dramatic range. You can't fake that. In 1985, he had a smaller role in The Color Purple. Although he didn't play Miss Sophia, his performance as Swain added depth to the narrative of the African-American experience in the early 1900s. Only Laurence Fishburne could bring such nuance to the role. Fishburne's portrayal of Othello in Shakespeare's Othello is a standout, showcasing a powerful and nuanced performance that brought the complex character to life. He expressed the intricacies of Othello's life and decisions, connecting them to the universal human experience. It's impossible to forget his iconic moment as Morpheus in The Matrix. The red pill, blue pill scene offers Neo a choice between continuing to live in ignorance or learning the unsettling truth about reality. Fishburne hit a home run with this character, and Morpheus's pills are still part of our political discussions today. Laurence Fishburne wears his characters like a second skin and always delivers an outstanding performance. Strained family relationships. No wonder he's one of the most recognizable faces in Hollywood. However, there are aspects of his family life he would rather keep out of the spotlight. As a father, it must be challenging to watch his daughter, Montana Fishburne, enter the adult film industry. Although she's a full-grown adult, her decision to veer into adult entertainment caused a deep and very public rift in the family. The Fishburne family enjoyed a period of calm until Montana Fishburne began attracting attention. In November 2009, she made headlines after being arrested for attempting to sell her body. She pleaded no contest to a lesser charge of trespassing and received probation. Then, in February 2010, she was incarcerated for a physical altercation with her boyfriend's ex-girlfriend. Laurence Fishburne funded Montana's legal defense to help her overcome the case and regain stability. Instead of choosing a more conventional path, Montana partnered with Vivid Entertainment. 6 months later, they announced the release of her intimate video. This raised questions about why the daughter of a Hollywood superstar would resort to such a profession. Laurence Fishburne was strongly opposed to her decision, but Montana stood by it and carried on, reminiscent of a wayward son. Known in the industry as Chippy D, Montana shared that after her first intimate experience, she fell in love with it. Inspired by Kim Kardashian's success following the release of her intimate footage with Ray J, Montana decided to follow a similar path, hoping to further her career in Hollywood. This decision likely makes Laurence Fishburne want to stick to some of those blue pills. Laurence and his famous friends reportedly reached out to Vivid Entertainment, offering to purchase every copy of the DVD, which added up to millions of dollars. Lawrence's friends also hired attorney Yael Galanter to handle the transaction. Unfortunately, by the time Galanter reached out to Vivid executive Steve Hirsch, the DVDs had already been shipped out. After the video's release, Montana told TMZ that her mom was worried but supportive. As for her dad, she hadn't spoken to him, but heard that he was very upset. Montana added, "I think he wants to support me in everything I do, and though he sees this now as a negative, I believe in time he will view it as a positive." She also confirmed she never told her dad about her new career, and he found out the news at the same time as the rest of the world. Eventually, she reached out to her dad, and he reportedly told her she was unwelcome in his life until she made some changes. He was also reportedly upset that she used her famous last name in the video credits, which added to his embarrassment. Getting on her dad's bad side wasn't her only issue. Weeks after the video was shipped to stores, adult actor Brian Pumper released a DVD called Fatties, Rhymes, and Dimes 14, which featured unauthorized footage of him and Montana. Montana got her lawyers involved to stop Brian from profiting off their personal videos. If all that isn't crazy enough, 1 month after all this went down, Montana was shipped off to an inpatient program. She decided to spend at least 30 days at a facility in Southern California to work out some issues. After her career fizzled, an online website reported that Montana was spotted dancing at a Houston gentlemen's club. We can't confirm what she's up to as of this video, aside from the fact that she's rather flexible on her Instagram account. Laurence Fishburne's relationship with his daughter, Montana Fishburne, has been quite stormy and complex, marked by both public and private challenges. In 2010, Montana made headlines when she entered the adult film industry, a career choice that deeply upset and disappointed Laurence. As a protective father, he felt it brought negative attention to the family. Montana, on the other hand, explained her motivation in interviews, stating, "We are two separate people, and I think because he's had such a long, successful career and he is so respected, my actions should have nothing to do with him." The public nature of her career and the ensuing media coverage put additional pressure on their already strained relationship. But that's not the only instance where she has come up short in her father's eyes. Montana has had other legal issues that have likely impacted her relationship with her father. In 2017, she was arrested for DUI, and in 2018, she was charged with several counts, including battery and false imprisonment, related to an altercation with her boyfriend. These incidents have painted a picture of a troubled young woman struggling with personal issues in the public eye. Despite these challenges, there have been moments indicating a potential for reconciliation. Montana has expressed in interviews a desire to mend her relationship with her father. However, as of recent reports, the status of their relationship remains uncertain, with no public confirmation of a reconciliation. But you can keep your fingers crossed for that one. Montana is his oldest daughter, now 32, with a history of assaults and substance abuse. Meanwhile, Langston, Lawrence's son and her brother, is making a name for himself in Hollywood. But even with his successes, their father isn't entirely pleased with the situation. Problematic marriages and relationships. In 1985, Laurence Fishburne married actress Hajna Moss. They welcomed 2 children, Langston, born in 1987, and their daughter Montana, born in 1991. By the time Laurence gave a 1993 interview to the New York Times, he and Hajna were separated. Speaking on Lawrence's behalf, Martin Sheen, who is also Montana's godfather, told the publication that the separation was a very painful situation for Laurence. By the mid-90s, the Augusta, Georgia native was legally divorced and focused on his career. After his divorce from Moss, Fishburne was romantically involved with actress Victoria Dillard, his co-star in the 1992 film Deep Cover. Their relationship was quite public, but short-lived. This period in Fishburne's life was marked by a search for stability following the dissolution of his first marriage. In 1999, he appeared as Morpheus in The Matrix, one of the best sci-fi films of all time. In 2001, production began on the sequels, and that's when Laurence met actress Gina Torres. They got engaged that same year, and in September 2002, 33-year-old Gina and 41-year-old Laurence became husband and wife. In 2007, they welcomed their daughter Delilah. The couple, considered a Hollywood power duo, seemed strong for many years, with they frequently appearing together at public events. In September 2016, she told The New York Times she quit her role on the show Suits because she needed to tend to her personal life. A year later, she was spotted kissing someone else. The man was identified as Kevin Wright, a Utah entrepreneur and solar energy investor. Sources said that Gina met Kevin on the beach in Dana Point, California around August 2017. An insider added, "I think Gina finds in Kevin what she couldn't find in Laurence. He's the opposite of a Hollywood guy. He's just a cowboy type." But did Gina let Laurence know she was ready to ride her cowboy off into the sunset? Or was he just as surprised as the rest of us when the photos hit the internet? According to court documents, Laurence and Gina had been separated since October 2016, a whole year prior to Gina meeting her new beau. Apparently, Laurence and Gina were trying to iron out the details of their split before letting the public know that their marriage was over. But the cat was out of the bag, and the photos lit a fire under them to finally tie up loose ends. Laurence filed for divorce in November 2017, citing irreconcilable differences. He asked for joint legal and physical custody of their daughter, who was 10 at the time, and requested the judge block either of them from receiving spousal support. Their divorce was finalized in May 2018, and their settlement was kept confidential. Gina went public with Kevin in January 2019 by inviting him to the premiere of the film Miss Bala. As of this writing, she and her cowboy are still going strong. Laurence stepped out with a new woman in December 2018 at the Marrakesh International Film Festival, which became another messy and embarrassing moment for the veteran actor. Online sources immediately identified the woman as 44-year-old Bronwyn Ann Moylan, who was still legally married to her husband of 15 years, 81-year-old Reverend Richard Dannenfelser. A source told an online website that Bronwyn met Laurence decades ago at an acting class, and they had recently reconnected. The insider added that the Reverend wanted to confront Laurence about hooking up with his wife, but decided to let his lawyers handle the communication instead. That little situation didn't last long, and as of this writing, Laurence is back on the market and has been accompanied to red carpet events by his daughter, Delilah. In June 2022, he expressed an interest in giving love another shot by telling Page Six, "Eventually I would like to date, but there is nobody in particular on my radar." Laurence Fishburne gets personal in Like They Do in the Movies. Laurence Fishburne shows off his mastery of the stage in his new one-man show, Like They Do in the Movies, which is currently running a limited engagement at the Perelman Performing Arts Center in New York City. The play reunites Fishburne with his Thurgood director Leonard Foglia. The Tony Award-winning Fishburne performs solo in the 2-hour play, delivering monologues that are personal to him, whether from his life or the lives of others he has encountered. Like They Do in the Movies is an examination of the lies Fishburne has been told and the lies he has told himself. The show began with a prologue of sorts, with Fishburne taking the stage to share his parents' stories. His mother, Hattie Crawford Fishburne, a Southern black woman born in the 1930s who had big dreams that would go unrealized, a big personality, while shrouded under a dark cloud of mental illness. Hattie met juvenile corrections officer Laurence Fishburne, Jr., and the couple went on to become the parents of the multi-award-winning actor who is Laurence Fishburne III. Fishburne's parents' relationship didn't last, however, and after relocating with his mother to Brooklyn, he caught the acting spark at a young age. Fishburne then proceeded to describe the toxic relationship he had with his mother during his childhood, which included physical abuse and drugging, and his emotionally distant relationship with his father. While doing this, Fishburne takes on the first 3 of many characters: Hattie, his father, and a young version of himself. Throughout the early segment discussing his parents, Fishburne tells the audience he promises to examine more details about his parents in a later part of the show. After a quick set background and costume change, Fishburne returned to the stage in a suit sharing a story about a man arrested for impersonating a cop while trying to stop fare beaters, followed by a father trying to make it back to his children after being stuck at a hospital with his wife in New Orleans when the streets flooded due to Hurricane Katrina. Fishburne moves on to tell a story of a homeless car wash employee, an American owner of a brothel in Australia, a cop who knits who killed a man during a racist encounter. Then, in later half of the second hour of the show, Laurence gets back to his parents, in particularly his mom. In 2015, media reports discussed Fishburne's mom's impending eviction, in which his mom had spoken out about not being in contact with her famous son. Fishburne uses time in a segment of the show to give his side while also explaining that he came to understand his mother after she was diagnosed with narcissistic personality disorder, a mental disorder where individuals lack of ability to empathize with others and requiring excessive adoration, attention, and praise. Fishburne at the same questions himself, did he inherit these traits from his mother in his drive to become the big Hollywood star that he became? The show ends with Fishburne committing to protect and care for his mother in the last years of her life as her health deteriorates, despite all the abuse he endured because of her and the lies she told him, especially when it came to the identity of his real father. The strongest parts of the show are, in fact, Fishburne's personal story. Fishburne could have chosen to share his personal traumatic story in a book, on television, or in a movie, but he chose the stage, allowing only a select few who choose to be in attendance the opportunity to get to hear his story. However, while the title says, "Like They Do in the Movies," aside from mentioning a few of his childhood film roles, like Cornbread Earl and Me, there aren't any stories pertaining to Fishburne's experience working in Hollywood during his adult acting career, whether behind the scenes or in front of the camera, which would have been interesting to hear. Financial struggles and family disputes. Not to mention that the 62-year-old award-winning actor left CSI in a hurry back in 2011, leaving behind crazy rumors of behind-the-scenes conflicts and dissatisfaction with the show's direction, although these were never officially confirmed. Unfortunately, when you're a high-profile Hollywood star, everyone wants to stick their nose in your business. In 2016, it was reported that Fishburne faced several tax liens amounting to over $1 million. But when you're worth over $30 million, that's not asking for a lot. Despite the issues with Montana, things between Laurence and Gina were going great. They even worked together in 2013 when they appeared on NBC's Hannibal. However, in 2015, Laurence was pulled back into some family drama. His 80-year-old mother, Hattie Fishburne, reached out to the New York Post, claiming she had last spoken to her son a year prior when his dad, Laurence Fishburne Sr., passed away. Hattie said she was living off her $3,000 per month Social Security benefits and had fallen behind on her $1,500 per month rent. She also stated she received an eviction notice from her apartment complex. Hattie added, "For 20 years, I funded my son's career. He promised me he would take care of me. He promised me a house, a golden retriever, a calico cat. To this day, I have not got a Christmas present or a thank you mama present. Thank you." The media immediately felt bad for her, and who wouldn't? A mother who sacrificed so much for her son, only for him to make it big and turn his back on her, is a salacious story that gossip magazines love to eat up. But it's time for the world to know the truth. Based on obtained court documents, perhaps Laurence's relationship with his mom was a bit strained at the time, and it appears that her claim that they weren't in contact is accurate. However, Laurence was still financially taking care of her at the time she reached out to media outlets about her upcoming eviction. By the end of 2015, Hattie was indeed evicted from her apartment for failing to pay her rent. Adult Protective Services were called to help remove Hattie from the premises. They went through her belongings and found a stack of uncashed cashier's checks made out to her landlord. A physician later determined that Hattie was mentally impaired. She was having trouble taking care of her personal needs and would forget to pay her bills, despite having plenty of funds, and Laurence sending her money as well. She was transferred to an assisted living facility, and Laurence footed the bill. The media didn't report this information, though, because it wasn't as juicy as the inaccurate reports of him turning his back on his mom. It can be confirmed that as Hattie's only child, Laurence was given the opportunity to act as her conservator. He declined the duties but still agreed to pay for the assisted living and any other miscellaneous bills. The role of conservator was then given to a man named James Sullivan. We are unable to confirm his relationship with the Fishburne family. This situation garnered media attention, and although Fishburne did not publicly comment on the matter, you can bet people connected as many dots as possible. His adored and praised career. Laurence Fishburne's career is a testament to his remarkable versatility and talent, spanning over 4 decades in film, television, and theater. Known for his commanding presence and deep, resonant voice, Fishburne has built an illustrious career that showcases his wide-ranging abilities as an actor, director, and producer. Now let's circling back to Apocalypse Now and the curious story of how the teenage Laurence Fishburne saved the life of future film star Emilio Estevez during the movie's production. Estevez was visiting his dad Martin Sheen on location in the Philippines and wound up almost drowning in a lake. Fortunately, Fishburne was on hand to whisk him to safety. Incredibly, Martin Sheen didn't realize what had happened until decades later. As Sheen later said, "I would have gone up and hugged and kissed him and thanked him, but I didn't have a clue." In addition to his film career, Fishburne has made notable contributions to television and theater. He earned a Primetime Emmy Award for his role in the television miniseries The Tuskegee Airmen, 1995, where he portrayed the real-life pilot, and he has also appeared in series such as CSI Crime Scene Investigation, 2008-2011, where he played Detective Raymond Langston. Fishburne's theater work includes his role in the Tony Award-winning play Two Trains Running, 1992, showcasing his strong stage presence and versatility. With his appearances in both The Man of Steel and Ant-Man and the Wasp, Fishburne has left his mark on both the Marvel and DC cinematic universes. Fishburne has had the privilege of sharing the screen with some of the most talented actors in the industry, like Denzel Washington and Samuel L. Jackson, resulting in dynamic performances. In recognition of his outstanding contributions to the entertainment industry, Laurence Fishburne received a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame in 2003. Beyond his acting career, Fishburne has also worked as a producer and director. He produced and starred in Akeelah and the Bee, 2006, a film that received critical acclaim for its portrayal of a young girl's journey to the National Spelling Bee. His work behind the camera reflects his commitment to storytelling and his ability to bring impactful stories to the screen. In conclusion, Laurence Fishburne is an incredibly talented actor and has had a significant impact on the entertainment industry. Through his diverse filmography, memorable performances, and dedication to his craft, Fishburne has solidified his status as one of the most respected actors in Hollywood. Not only has he showcased his versatility by portraying a wide range of characters, but he has also brought depth and authenticity to each role. Fishburne's contributions to both film and television have earned him numerous accolades and a dedicated fan base. From his breakout role in Boys and the Hood to his iconic portrayal of Morpheus in the Matrix trilogy, Fishburne continues to captivate audiences with his charisma and powerful on-screen presence. With a career spanning over 4 decades, there is no doubt that Laurence Fishburne will continue to deliver exceptional performances and leave his mark on the world of entertainment.